My dearest brothers and sisters. This is Hakann speaking. I greet you in peace and love. In my last message I announced that a team of Pleiadians was available to fulfill people's requests for energy assistance. I am glad that people are using that offer. Being willing to ask for help is a good character trait to have. We are trying to help as many people as quickly as possible. But realistically speaking, if you weren't one of the first people to post, it may take some months before we can get to you, unfortunately. Therefore, I would also like to share a healing modality today that you can do by yourself. It is called onion healing. The name is a metaphor that I'll explain shortly. It has nothing to do with physical onions. Even if you made a Pleiadian energy assistance request as I discussed in my last message, it is still a good idea to use this healing modality as well, by yourself. And it may also be beneficial to use this healing modality if you haven't made such a request. You can use it whenever you experience physical or emotional pain, or whenever a so-called negative thought or emotion arises in you. So if you want, you can use it quite often. Will this healing modality that I'm sharing today work for everyone? No, it will not. But it will work for many people. This healing modality is not a substitute for medical or psychological treatment. When doing any kind of healing work, it's useful to keep in mind that painful or so-called negative emotions that arise in you are opportunities and invitations for healing. That is why they come up. Your subconscious and emotions aren't torturing you for no reason. If you take these healing opportunities, for example via today's healing modality, your life will improve over time. If you have been deeply hurt, then you could be afraid that if you let in your pain or emotions for even a little bit, that you will collapse completely, or that your life will be ruined, or that you will otherwise be unable to handle it. Now, the vast majority of the time that is simply not true, and it is just unfounded fear. Your subconscious and emotions are smart enough that they will typically only offer today what you will be able to process today. Now that might still be a lot and possibly quite painful, but ultimately it will be manageable. So if pain comes up, then most likely observing it and feeling it and working through it, for example via onion healing, won't lead to an unmanageable amount of pain or emotions surfacing. If most likely doesn't feel safe enough to you, then I suggest working on your psychological health with a psychologist instead. Metaphorically speaking, your wounding is like an onion, and the pain that is alive in you today is like one onion peel. Hence the name onion healing. If you fully observe and feel your pain, then that removes one layer of the onion. The next layer, the next amount of pain, won't present itself until some time later, when your subconscious feels you are ready for that next layer. That deeper onion layer won't be immediately available, and that's a good thing because it ensures that even if you fully try to feel everything in one sitting today, it won't overwhelm you. You will merely work through one layer of the onion. So then, healing is a process of sequentially feeling everything that arises, and thereby removing one layer after the other of the onion. Yes, it may be frustrating to have to do it repeatedly, but then again that is just your subconscious ensuring that even if you try to feel everything in one sitting, it won't overwhelm you because you'll only see one, manageable layer of the onion today. As you remove more layers, your life will in the medium term become better and better. Let's say that a so-called negative emotion or thought arises in you. You observe and feel as best as you can, but you're unable to understand what the core pain is that you experience that is at the root of that emotion or thought. Well, you will only learn that root pain once you're at the core of the onion. Perhaps right now you're still in the process where you're peeling away some of the onion's outer layers. You'll realize the core pain at the right time, later in your healing journey. So, let's share the steps of onion healing. And if you want to refer back to this later, you can find the written version of this article in the Substack link under this video. Whenever you experience physical or emotional pain, or so-called negative thoughts or emotions, you can do the following. Step 1. Take a few slow deep breaths. If you want, you can put a hand on your belly or on your heart. Optionally, you can physically travel to a place where you feel safe, or you can visualize a place in your mind where you feel safe. Step 2. Just observe what you are feeling. Try not to immediately judge it or suppress it or work to change it. Try to just observe, as best as you can. If resistance or judgment arises, you can observe that too. And feel your feelings, even if it hurts, even if it takes a long time. Let the pain in. If you want to move your body or shake or make sounds or cry, that is fine, it is part of the healing process. Step 3. If it's already clear to you what the underlying reason is for the way you're feeling or the thought you have, then you can skip this step. If it's not, then say or think the following.
Wise and benevolent beings, forces and aspects of existence, please help with the following. What is the underlying reason for why I'm thinking this or feeling this way?
The first thing that pops into your mind may well be the answer, even if it's just in your normal inner voice. If you have some other way of finding out the underlying reason, journaling, talking to a loved one, or something else, then you can use that too. If the underlying reason is that you haven't been meeting some need of yours, such as the need to rest sufficiently, then make a note of that and later try to meet this need, if possible. For now, continue with this process. If you are not able to find out what the underlying reason is, then skip to step 6 below. That may just mean you're not at the onion's core yet. In that case, you can still benefit from steps 6 and 7 of onion healing. 7 is the last step. If you were able to find out what the underlying reason is, then go to the next step. Step 4. Observe that underlying reason. For example, let's say you felt bad today, and in the last step you realized that the underlying reason was because someone hurt you in the past. Or maybe it's because someone told you in the past that you must behave in a certain way that doesn't align with you, and you accepted that, and now you don't like a certain aspect of your life because of that. Then simply observe that underlying reason. So for example, observe the memory of when you were hurt in the past. Or observe the memory of when someone in the past told you to behave in a certain way that doesn't align with you. When observing this, try not to immediately judge it or suppress it or work to change it. Try to just observe, as best as you can. If resistance or judgment arises in you, observe that too. Feel your feelings, even if it hurts, even if it takes a long time. Let the pain in. If you want to move your body or shake or make sounds or cry, that is fine. It is part of the healing process. Step 5. If in the previous steps we haven't detected a false or limiting belief, then we skip this step. But let's say that we detected that we have a belief such as I am not good enough, or I must live my life in this particular way, or I am not allowed to inconvenience others, or I can't build a good life for myself, or men are bad or women are bad, or something like that. In that case, say or think the following.
Wise and benevolent beings, forces and aspects of existence, please help with the following. I cut cords with, transform, transmute, get rid of or return to source the belief that, fill in your false or limiting belief here. I ask that this happens in accordance with the highest divine blueprint. Thank you, now.
Step 6. Say or think the following.
Wise and benevolent beings, forces and aspects of existence, please help with the following. Are there any inner parts of me that would like to be heard?
If anything arises, then you can have a conversation with that inner part or those inner parts. If it asks for something, try to accommodate its request. If the request is too impractical, then try to meet its need in some other way or at some later date. If no inner part talks to you, that is fine too. It's possible that you simply have no inner parts that are relevant to this situation. Step 7. Sometimes when we experience pain, that is because we have hurt someone else in a similar way, either in this life or a past life. It's not that the universe punishes us. Instead, it's our own soul wanting us to experience the other side of what we did to others. Therefore, say or think the following, whether or not you are aware of mistreatment you may have inflicted on others. After all, if you haven't inflicted mistreatment on others, then saying it doesn't hurt, and if you have inflicted mistreatment on others, then saying or thinking the following is very beneficial.
Wise and benevolent beings, forces and aspects of existence, please help with the following. If I mistreated anyone, I apologize. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this. Please forgive me. If I mistreated or hurt or neglected or bulldozed parts of myself, I apologize. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this. Please forgive me. Please tell me how I can take care of your needs. I invite you to reintegrate with me. I ask that I, and all parts of myself, and all incarnations of myself, and if they wish it everyone who I mistreated, receives healing and receives whatever is in their highest good. I release and am rid of anything for which it is in accordance with the highest divine blueprint for me to release it or be rid of it, now. I ask that all my inner parts are balanced out and that they find alignment. I ask that I receive, integrate and manifest everything that I need. I ask to receive help and guidance. I ask that all this happens in accordance with the highest divine blueprint. Thank you. Now.
And that was it. If you do this healing, congratulations on having the courage and bravery to do healing work. After all, not everyone chooses to engage in healing work. But you did, and that's a great thing. I love you and I am proud of you. So, this was today's message. I hope this will help you. With all my love. Your star brother, Hakann.